Welcome to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder and attorney at Meldon Law, and we have Santa Claus with us today. We are very excited. The Ocala Santa Claus, as a matter of fact, and we're going to be getting into a great interview with Santa Claus. I know he's getting very busy for the big night coming up tonight. And it's going to be exciting. We are going to put our announcements for the community at the end of the show. Usually we do community announcements right up front. We're going to change things up a little. So we're going to jump right into Meldon Law and Friends with the official Santa Claus. How are you doing today, Santa?
I'm doing fine, Jeff. And Merry Christmas 2024 to all the Meldon Law and Friends. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, thank you very much. So tonight is Christmas Eve. What do you have on store as far as what are the plans?
Well, I know that we've ordered in several tons of high-protein alfalfa, Cheerios, and sparkles for the reindeer. It's that extra little boost in the fuel. It's like buying 93 octane instead of 87.
Well, for me, Santa, Rudolph is my favorite because I grew up in the 50s and 60s, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was this really popular song back then.
Yeah, it still is today. And, you know, it's a team effort. There's a whole group up there pulling that sleigh. Over the years, I've increased maybe in size a little, so they pull a little more.
Well, that's important. Plus, there's more kids, so you need more room and more horsepower for all the toys that are going to be on the sleigh.
That's true, and it's reindeer power. It's a special power, and that's why we feed them Cheerios, sparkles, and good high-protein alfalfa.
I love it. So let's talk about the spirit of Christmas, because I know that's something near and dear to your heart.
Well, the spirit of Christmas is more than just gift giving. There's a lot of things you can do. You know, we all hear about the nice list. It's just stuff for your fellow man. Put the grocery cart back. Pick up a piece of trash on the street. Say hello to somebody. Treat your server in a restaurant. Well, it's a common theme that we really practice all year.
You know, it's pretty cool because at the holiday time, everyone really has a little bit of an attitude adjustment, which I think is miraculous.
You know, if we could put like the magic dust on everyone so that they could keep that adjustment all year. You know, something as simple as a smile, a wave. Let me get the door for you, and a thank you.
You know what? I think what you say rings true with me because I try to be intentional and do some of the things that you suggested. Just saying, when somebody does something for you, whether it's at a restaurant or a store or whatever, look at them in the eye and say, thank you very much for helping.
Absolutely correct. And if you're in the line at the grocery store, you know, don't be talking on your cell phone while you're interacting with the cashier. You know, give them the attention they deserve. They're performing a job as much as you are being a customer.
Yeah, I know. I go up to my corner Publix, and I know most of the cashiers there, and they always are very cheerful, and they do a great job, and we should, respond, right?
Response and respect, yes.
Yeah, well, that's great. So over the years, I know you've been doing this a long time. I know you go out to ARC in Ocala for, the last 22 years?
Last 22 years. It was interesting. In 2002, one of my schoolmates called me up and asked me what I was doing. I said, I'm probably working on a bike or something. Well, get scrubbed up and come on out. I want you to do something for me. And literally, that was the first time that I was commissioned to wear a Santa suit. And I've done it for ARC for 22 years.
For those of you that don't know, ARC helps folks who have disabilities, both younger people and adults. And it's a pretty amazing community. It's in Ocala, I think on Mary Camp Road.
Correct.
And if you haven't been out there, check it out. I had a case out there with one of the residents, and I got to know a lot about ARC, and it's a pretty amazing place.
Yes, it is. And, I suggest that you possibly follow them on Facebook or other social media. They do a lot of fundraisers throughout the year. And it's good to give to the special group of people.
Yes, absolutely. So what else is going on in Ocala for Christmas?
Well, we've got Christmas stuff going on like every city does. We have the new World Equestrian Center, which is, top shelf. If you like horses, they have it decorated fully. St. John's Lutheran Church, they have a wonderful walk-through Christmas light display. Downtown, all the parking is free for the Christmas holidays.
So are they saving a space for Santa and his sleigh?
Well, usually I park on the roof, so I get a bit of a break there, yeah.
So I know WEC, World Equestrian Center, said they have over 1 million lights out there. That must really bring joy to the kids and everybody else that goes out there.
It's a wonderful place to visit. There's so much that the family invested into building this location. They celebrate things all year, but really go out there, walk around, enjoy the lights. They have characters. It'll be a memorable experience. Yeah,
and also there's lots of things going on in both Marion County, Alachua County, and all the surrounding areas. The villages, they're all lit up, and you got to look a little harder in the villages to find the little kids, but I know they're there.
Oh, yeah. Well, guess what? The little kids have grandparents. The grandparents live in the villages. And if you're a grandparent, you really want to show off your grandchild, and that's where you take them. You show them the lights. You get them an ice cream. They get into the spirit, like we talked about earlier. They kind of get into the spirit, and they're made to feel special by the residents in the villages.
What are some of the most unusual things that have happened to you as Santa Claus?
Probably one of the most touching experiences I had in portraying Santa Claus was in Publix. I was on the way home. I didn't want to go change and then go to Publix and get a sub sandwich. So I'm in Publix. I'm getting a sub sandwich, and there's a young girl there, probably 6 years old or something, and she was having a really bad time. She was crying, misbehaving, and I asked the mother, may I speak to her? She goes, well, she's deaf and she's blind. I go, that's okay. I know a little sign. I know a little of the manual alphabet. So, I signed in her hand, hello, this is Santa. And I let her feel the beard and touch the fur. And it was amazing, the transition. I know that her knowledge was limited because of being deaf and blind, but she lit up immediately. And you've been in Publix, the deli, the sub shop, not a dry eye back there. I mean, the employees were just trying to be as nice to her as they could. But there's a lot of things like that happen to Santas. It's not just when we're in the red suit and stuff. We can be out to dinner with friends, and there will always be children that, Santa, am I going to be on the nice list this year?
Well, I know it's very important to be on the nice list, right? So I have to share with you, last Wednesday, the children from the School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine came to Gainesville for the final rehearsal for the Nutcracker. And wow, they got on stage, and they got to hear or see the performance. They also had their hands. They could feel the sound on the stage if they were deaf. And then after the show was over, they got to meet all of the performers, and they got to feel their outfits. The ones that were blind and the ones that were deaf got to, really enjoy the spirit of Christmas.
And that's, some people are under the misconception you have to do something big, a small thing. If you just do a little small thing every day, it's big at the end of the year. They add up. Ray Charles was a student at St. Augustine, and he wrote one time that's where he learned to hold an inflated balloon to help him feel music. And
I never heard that story.
Tactile feel through your hands and stuff. But just do something small, like letting a child, even though you're not in uniform, letting a child believe for that moment, I'm talking to Santa.
Wow. That's pretty. Ray Charles played at my Performing Arts Theater 50 years ago. It was 1975, and he came to Gainesville for a whole week and practiced with his orchestra, because Ray always had a big orchestra. So he did 4 shows, 2 on a Friday night and 2 on Saturday night, and everybody in Gainesville turned out, and that was something that before I was doing Meldon Law at the same time I was the impresario at the Great Southern Music Hall.
Yes.
You've heard of the Great Southern?
I used to go up there in the very early 70s and occasionally catch some good old rock and roll, and it was great place, and there are other places up there today that still offer the small, intimate music venues.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're big fans of what they do at Heartwood Soundstage.
Soundstage, off the hook. Great place.
And their recording studio in there. If you ever see a show or listen to music in there, it's amazing.
Santa goes up there to listen to blues every once in a while.
Well, that's good. I was a big blues fan. I mean, my big coup, was when we started the Great Southern. We brought in Muddy Waters and, a lot of, other great, John Lee Hooker, and we brought in, some of the classic blues artists, because I was familiar with the blues artists back then.
Yes. And, Albert King, B.B. King, those two just do phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody ever hears of Albert.
I know. Well, Albert King, they weren't related, but they were both incredible. Although B.B. King, he really, he got the moniker, the King of the Blues, and he really did open up the blues for a lot of people.
And in Cross Creek, the Yearling Restaurant used to be a phenomenal blues player, Willie Green. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of Willie Green? If anybody gets a chance, look up Willie Green on YouTube, the real deal. And he could play the guitar with 5 strings, 6 strings, 3 strings, it didn't matter. One of those unknown musicians that was just worth the trip to visit.
So talking about Christmas, what are your favorite songs, Christmas songs?
Oh, I'm trying to think of the girls. Santa Baby, that's it. I think that's a great Santa Claus song. I don't know if it's politically correct, but and I'm trying to remember the name of the girl who sings it, but her voice is just great, and it's a good one.
Yeah, well, one of my favorites, I think it was Brenda Lee. I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
yeah. I think I saw that on black and white TV one time.
Eartha Kitt, Santa
another
Baby.
Great voice.
Yeah, Eartha Kitt. She was a trailblazer. So here we are. It's Christmas Eve. North Central Florida is really a place that welcomes everyone. I think we feel very blessed to be
extremely
here.
Blessed.
Now, you were born and raised in the Ocala area, right?
Correct. That's right.
So let's talk about Ocala. Back then when you were a kid versus now.
Well, Back in the 50s, early 50s, I was literally born in Texas but raised in Ocala and traveled extensively out west. But I had an aunt that lived in Inverness, and everybody talks about Highway 200, how crowded it is. But back in the day, it was a lime rock road with a tar covering over it. And we could ride our bicycles to Silver Springs, and I think it was 15 cents to go swimming or something. You could go to the Marion Theater, and you would turn in Pepsi bottles for the deposit and a couple of bottle caps. You could go see a Western. You could see a preview of another movie. Those times are gone, but I think those times gave a lot of us who we are today. We kind of respect that old stuff.
Well, Meldon Law bought the building where the old Cameo Photo was, right on South Pine.
Yep.
And we're very proud of the building, and we're continually fixing it up. But it's one of those classic buildings from the 1950s.
Correct, it is. And, one of the family members that ran Cameo Photo from downtown Ocala, they moved out on South Pine, is still in the business and works part-time at a local electronics store.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, for those of you that don't know, Cameo Photo was a place where you went and you got your Kodak film processed and the prints made.
Yep.
Because we didn't have cell phones with cameras, and we didn't have, I don't even think Polaroids were out until the late 50s maybe, or 60s. But still, people... I know my dad had the Super 8 movie camera, and also he had an Argus C3 camera, and people carried around cameras back then.
What a coincidence. I still have my parents' C3.
No kidding.
And I shoot black and white, and you have to use a manual light meter. Everything is manual back in the day. I'm no good at it, but I still have it.
Well, anyhow, I have, some great memories during the holidays, growing up in the Cleveland area. I've been in Gainesville and North Central Florida now since 1970.
Okay.
And we've both seen a lot of changes. In many ways, I'm not one of those bah humbug guys that's, it's too crowded, I wish I went back. I think there's, just think about all the wonderful things like World Equestrian Center that we have now.
Yes, World Equestrian Center. We have one of the 5 top magnitude springs in the state of Florida at Silver Springs. Yeah. We have... going out Highway 40 towards Daytona. There's Juniper Springs, Alexander Springs. We have Rainbow Springs to the to the west, excuse me. There's more than just commercial interest in the Ocala-Marion County area. The equestrian industry alone. And some of these horse farms actually offer tours where you can walk through and look at it. But Ocala downtown right now on the old square, we have some wonderful lights, phenomenal restaurants around the area. You may see me flying overhead in the sleigh. We got to do a little tuning. So we go out, we test it. Well,
I have word that the folks out at the World Equestrian Center, I talked to the mayor of WEC, and Vincent told me that they have some stalls in case the reindeer get a little tired and need to take a break.
They do, and it's they actually have the runway lights set up so we can make a good landing, and it's right near the entrance to the stalls. And the reindeer, they know where they belong. It's stall 1, 2, 3, 4. It works out great.
Well, I'm really excited. We've had a great year. I think that North Central Florida, a lot of people are discovering that we have a really nice place around here, and it's not quite as crowded as some other big cities. And we have open areas and farms, and we've got a lot of really nice things. So I want to thank you, Santa, for bringing joy to all the kids in North Central Florida. And maybe next year at this time, you'll come back and we'll have another exciting show for Christmas Eve.
I certainly hope so. And Jeff, Meldon Law and Friends, Merry Christmas 2024. May you have an absolutely fabulous New Year and a prosperous year next year.
Well, thank you very much, and we'll be back in just a minute on Meldon Law and Friends.
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Cary allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there. And I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon, because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hey, Sammy, look who's there. Say hi.
Hey!
You again.
Meldon Law, Jeffrey speaking.
Jeffrey! Somebody get us!
Here we go again. Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. And today I have one of my good friends here, Rabbi Mendel Goldman from Chabad at UF, the Jewish Student Center for the University of Florida Students, Santa Fe, and community members. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today, Rabbi Goldman?
I'm doing great, thank God.
Yeah, so tomorrow is the start of the wonderful holiday of Hanukkah, and it just so happens that, we had Santa on earlier, and he was talking about Christmas, which Christmas Eve is tonight, and Christmas Day is tomorrow. It just so happens that Hanukkah starts the same day as Christmas, which is unusual. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about the holiday of Hanukkah and what the meaning is and the history of it. Can you give us a little bit of background on what Hanukkah is?
Sure. So Hanukkah was a couple thousand years ago, in the time of the First Temple period. The Jews the land of Israel was occupied at that time and taken over by the Greeks. And the Greeks led a lot of persecution at the time against the Jews. And a band of warriors, small band called the Maccabees, fought back. And they rededicated, they were able to take back Jerusalem and the land of Israel from the Greeks. And they went to the temple in Jerusalem, which the Greeks had stopped the Jews from being able to practice the religion there and do the service in the temple. And they rededicated it on the 25th of Kislev, which is actually this year, 25th of December at night. And they found one jug of oil, one pure jug for the menorah, as we all know, the menorah right there behind us, in the temple. And the miracle was that the menorah at the temple, the one little jug, which only should have lasted for one day, lasted for 8 days in the temple till they were able to get some new oil.
So we celebrate Hanukkah for 8 days.
There we go.
And, what's the symbolism today for Hanukkah?
So I would say, like I mentioned, the Maccabees were a small band of brothers, of warriors. They could have slept and lived in the caves away from the Greeks and in the mountains without any persecution and hid out over there. But they went out, they went on a limb, and they fought for what they knew was right. They fought for their brothers. They fought for the right cause, for the goodness of the world against the evil and persecution. So today more than ever, that's such an important lesson, to be able to strike out and fight for what's right, because it's easy to be silent. It's easy to be coward. You got to learn from the Maccabees in order to strike out and fight for what's right.
Yeah, I know that, there's so much that's been going on in Israel since October 7th as far as fighting for the survival of Israel. A lot of folks don't understand that Jewish people and Israelis in particular feel that this is an existential battle, that we're being attacked from all sides, and that we really appreciate the support within the United States that a lot of folks have given us. Unfortunately, there's a rise in anti-Semitism that's hard to understand, and the world right now needs to rally behind Israel.
I would definitely agree with that, and I would say in Israel and in the Jewish world, the parallel for today's times is the story of Hanukkah, is that story of the few versus the many, where, Jews around the world feel, with the rise in anti-Semitism, unfortunately, feel left out and as the few, as the little. And what the Jews need and what we need is, in order to strengthen ourselves and with the support from Americans and everyone around the world who fight for what's right, be like the Maccabees, fight for the right cause, fight for the good. That's what's important, and that's what Hanukkah teaches us, that even if, just like the oil as well, even if you have one little jug of oil, even if you have a little light, it dispels so much darkness.
Yeah, and it's amazing what goes on right here in Gainesville at the Chabad Jewish Center at the University of Florida. Let's talk a little bit about the support that you and all the other rabbis and team members over at Chabad provide to the student and community population.
Sure. So at Chabad at the University of Florida, we're not only here, and the Gainesville community, we're not only there for the well-being of the students spiritually, but also for the physical well-being of everyone. So whether that means sometimes somebody needs a chicken soup, they're a little, under the weather. In this weather, it's getting a little cold outside, and sometimes the students are far away from their parents, or somebody's at home alone. And we're there to provide both for spiritual needs, obviously with services, but also for the physical needs of the Gainesville Jewish community at large.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I worked with your father helping build the Chabad Jewish Center, which opened in 2014. And since then, we have so many Jewish students that are getting involved with Chabad that we actually had to have Passover and Rosh Hashanah at the University of Florida basketball arena. That was pretty amazing.
That was awesome. And I would say not only that, but having it at the basketball arena was truly a beacon to the world around us, to the Jewish world and to the world at large around us in this anti-Semitism. I went on social media and just saw the reaction from politicians and other, famous people on social media, how proud they were, both Jews and non-Jews, how proud they were of us in Gainesville, and we are the beacon of light to the world, literally through that and so much more that we do here.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Rabbi Goldman, Beryl Goldman, Mendel's father and mother, Hani Goldman, moved here at 1999, just turning 2000.
Yep.
And I had the great luck and privilege of meeting him right away. And Mendel, he was just a little pisher back then, maybe a year old, right? And it was like, I've known Mendel since he was, crawling. He couldn't even walk. And then they had 7 more beautiful children. And I feel very blessed because
you remember better than me.
Yes, I do. Because I was around there, and so I'm Jewish, and I've been very involved with the Chabad Student Jewish Center at UF, and it's one of the great joys in my life is just to see the students engaging, particularly. In the last 15 months, since October 7th of 2023, when Israel was viciously attacked, and it's been a time for concern for students because in many college campuses there's been rampant anti-Semitism. There was no respect for the Jewish students on many campuses. However, at the University of Florida, it's been different. At the time, our president, Ben Sass, came out right away and said, look, nobody's going to be intimidated. Everyone has their right to their beliefs, and we respect the, freedom of speech and freedom of the press. However, there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And as Rabbi Mendel Goldman just said, that it's really been exciting to see that the University of Florida, with the largest Jewish student population in the United States of any college campus, that we have become the beacon of light for others to see, yes, there's a way to do it, there's hope, and we really enjoy that.
Absolutely. I was at a gathering of rabbis on anti-Semitism, and they were discussing, what was going on in campuses throughout the United States. And like before, just like with that Seder and with Rosh Hashanah in the Ocala Center, University of Florida, especially with the UF administration, is truly a beacon of light for literally the world and the United States specifically on college campuses. And they're just amazed at the support that the Jewish community has here from the leadership at the University of Florida and the city of Gainesville. And it's something special to be a part of.
Well, that's exciting. And we are very excited because Rabbi Mendel Goldman came back home after becoming an official rabbi and going through all the studies and helping others around the country, and came back. You got married. We were up in New York for the wedding with your wonderful, beautiful bride, Hyla. And now you have a special, incredible daughter, Rachel. And let's talk about what moving to Gainesville has been like for you and Hyla, moving back to Gainesville for you, moving here for her, and having, Rachel brought into your life, and how all of that feels.
Yeah, it's been a little bit surreal, to be honest. My wife had to get used to, we live right by the stadium, and she had to get used to, Saturday, all of a sudden, there's cars, there's people. Normally, it's a little quiet. The student ghetto neighborhood is usually a little quiet. All of a sudden, it's mayhem, and what's going on over here? I had to explain to her, there's the Gators football team. This is like the main thing in town. That's all that matters in Gainesville is the Gators. And, it's taking a little adjusting to her, and I'm a little tired, but it's okay, I'm still awake, but it's really special for us to be back and work together with the students and community, or for myself to be back, joined with my wife and daughter here in Gainesville. And my daughter was, thank God, born in Gainesville, so there's nothing better. I was raised in Gainesville. My daughter's born and, God willing, will be raised in Gainesville. There's nothing more special than that.
Well, one thing I've always enjoyed is you're very knowledgeable with regard to sports, in particular Gator sports. And you've been born and raised here, so it's hard to avoid that, right?
with everything that goes on at UF, you have to know the Gators. You have to be up to date or else you're behind the times. You got to be up to date now with the basketball team doing so well. You got with our coach Todd Golden, of course. There's so much, you got to be up to date with that.
Well, one of your responsibilities or your joys is relating to the students, right?
Sure.
And when you're a student at the University of Florida, you know about the Gators, you talk about the Gators. And I think it's really wonderful that you're able, to communicate in whatever works for the students. I think that's how they become closer. They start embracing Judaism. They feel safety. And I think it's wonderful that you've been able to be born and raised here and relate to the students, on what interests them.
Sure. I think actually Hanukkah is a great example that each and every one of us, we need to use everything in our life as a vehicle for goodness and kindness and positivity. And I think sports or whatever, anything, social media, whatever that may be, so much in this world is, you see negativity, you see darkness, you don't see the light, you don't see the positivity. But I think this idea that Jeffrey just said, that you're able, speak with students about sports, and that brings somebody into the door, that brings somebody to do something positive, to do something good. And Hanukkah is that you're just constantly going up in light. And whether that be on your, Facebook page, posting something positive, doing something nice to your friend, we always have to every single day. Just Hanukkah, we light one light more every single night. So you see here, we start from the left, the right over here on my side, and then you go up and up and up every single night. And it reminds us that we need to constantly be adding in positivity. And every day when we wake up, we got to think, what can I do positive and bring joy and happiness to those around me and to the world at large.
I think that's really important. So for those of you that aren't familiar, the way it works is on night one,
which is tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, the menorah would look like this, and this you explain.
Right. So this is called the shamash, which is the lighting candle, and it's not counted as one of the 8 candles, and it is used to light the other candles, because each of the candles are holy and they can't light the other ones. And that's another great lesson that we could learn from this shamash, from this lighter, is that all of us in our lives need to be, sometimes another person you see, they're down, they're in the dumps. You got to be the spark that lights another person, right? Everyone has their own menorah. Everybody has their oown life. Everybody has their own challenges and struggles. But sometimes they need somebody from outside. They need a friend. They need a relative. They need someone else to be that lighter, to be maybe, from the outside perspective, to come in and light their menorah, to light their soul, to light their world up.
Well, I'm very, very joyous and happy at this time. I'm so glad that you and Hyla and Rochel are in Gainesville, and I want to enjoy the Hanukkah. We're getting together with the grandkids down in Disney World.
Oh, nice.
For Hanukkah. What a great
what
place.
a best place to be.
So anyhow, thank you again, Rabbi Meldon Goldman from the Chabad Jewish Student Center at the University of Florida. And we invite everybody to come by and enjoy Hanukkah. And
absolutely. I'll just plug in December 29th, Sunday at 4 p.m. in the Bo Diddley Plaza, downtown Gainesville. Beautiful. Wow. It was redone, I think, a couple of years ago over there. Grass, beautiful. We'll have menorah lighting. We're going to have some latkes, some fresh hot latkes, some donuts, even though, don't worry, the calories, they're not too much, and some fun games and activities for the kids. So come by 4 p.m. This Sunday at the Bo Diddley Plaza. And I know Jeffrey's going to be there, so you'll catch me and Jeffrey there.
Well, that's wonderful. And thank you again for joining us, Rabbi Meldon Goldman. And we're going to take a short break on Meldon Law and Friends.
Jeffrey, what are you doing? doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Cary allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there. And I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder and attorney at Meldon Law, the only official injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators. And if you're involved in an accident and have serious injuries, please give us a call. We do an incredible job of communicating with our clients and getting good results. And we're from the community. We care about the folks that live in our community in North Central Florida. We have offices in Gainesville, Ocala, Lake City, Williston, and eventually we're going to be down in the villages. So please give us a call, and we will be very glad to help you out. And if you have any questions about the law, the case, your case, someone else's case, please give us a call. It's 352-373-8000. We are there to help. What's going on? World Equestrian Center Winter Wonderland is going on for the next several days. Get out there to WEC. It's got over 1 million lights. And they've got all kinds of stuff going on. Apparently in Santa Claus, who was our guest earlier, is going to be hanging out at the indoor arena number 2. Wednesday, Christmas Day through Sunday. So you get to meet the real Santa Claus in person and bring the kids, the grandkids, whoever. They'll love it. And we have a special appearance by the Grinch in Indoor Arena number 1. So check it out. There's lots going on. Food, party, drinks, music, everything. World Equestrian Center, we love you out there. Another exciting thing going on, December 27th and 28th at the Santa Fe College Gymnasium. Meldon Law is partnering and sponsoring the 7th annual Florida Get Down event with Dan Cross, who was a 1994 member of the Final Four basketball team at the University of Florida. Dan is great. 18 high school teams are invited from the state of Florida and Georgia, and all the games are under one roof. January 4th, we are going to have the women's basketball game versus the Georgia Bulldogs. So we're going to be handing out about 130 bags with swag in it for the kids. And we do a layup after the game. Bring the kids. The kids can all go do layups after the game. And usually I'm there. My son Carrie's there. My wife Patricia. We all love having a good time. Letting the kids get on the floor, shoot baskets, and then get some gifts. So join us. Okay, we got, this is going to be fun. January 18th, the men's basketball team is hosting the Texas Longhorns for the first time. And both teams have excellent records. And it's going to be a huge event. It's Meldon Law Day at the Ocala Center. And we're going to be doing all kinds of fun things there with a Texas theme to it. I don't think Texas has ever played basketball at the O-Dome before. So for those of you that enjoy basketball at a high level, please join us. That's January 18th, the Gator men's basketball team versus the Texas Longhorns. So that's a little bit as far as what's going on. The best place to find out what's going on is to go to the Meldon Law Facebook page. And we always have giveaways for basketball. We have a huge demand right now for tickets for gymnastics. Lady Gators may be a national champion this year. I think the team may be rated number 3 in the country, but if you're in the top 2 or 3 or 4, that means you're competing for a national championship. It's Olympic caliber talent. As a matter of fact, 3 or 4 of the women on the gymnastic teams are going to be in the next Olympics. So do yourself a favor. It's a blast. They sell out every event. It's always on a Friday night. Check the schedule. And wow, the turnout for gymnastics is just overwhelming. And Meldon Law is the official sponsor of all women's athletic programs at the University of Florida, and we really enjoy supporting what they're doing. So we're going to say good night, and I hope everybody's getting ready for the holidays. Christmas Eve is always an exciting night, and Christmas Day as well. And let's take some of the thoughts that we heard from Santa Claus as well as Rabbi Mendel Goldman about going out of our way not only to be kind during this holiday season, but throughout the year, because if there's one thing that I've learned over the years is that a little bit of kindness goes a long way, and especially to someone who maybe isn't expecting it. Give a thank you, listen to someone a little more intently, think about what you can do to make your day a great day and a meaningful day. So that's my thought for the last show that we're going to be doing in 2024. We're really looking forward to 2025. Meldon Law is so proud to be in the North Central Florida community, joining with everyone to support the important causes, the important charities, the important businesses that make our community so special. I could tell you, when I go down to South Florida to visit my grandchildren and my daughter, I'm so glad when I get out of that traffic and all that craziness and get back to North Central Florida. We love it up here. I've spent my whole adult life here. My son is my law partner, and there's a lot to be thankful for. So I want to give out a special thanks to everyone in the community who has supported us over the years, and we look forward to continuing to give back. Thank you very much, and we hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a joyous New Year. Thank you very much.